You know, water scarcity is one of those huge global challenges we hear about all the time. But what if the solution wasn't just some environmental breakthrough, but a massive business opportunity? Today, we're diving into how businesses are driving innovation in solar-powered water desalination, turning a global crisis into a sustainable and profitable venture. Let's see how they're doing it.
First, to really get why this is such a big deal, you have to understand the scale of the problem. Just look at this number, 2 billion. That's how many people, more than a quarter of the entire planet, are living in places where water is scarce. This isn't some far-off problem. It's a crisis happening right now, and it's creating this incredible demand for a real, affordable solution.
For decades, the main way we've tackled this is with traditional desalination. But honestly, it's kind of a brute force approach. It's incredibly expensive, it guzzles fossil fuels, and it pumps out a ton of emissions. But solar desalination, it completely flips the script. By tapping into renewable energy, it slashes the biggest operational cost, energy, and it gets rid of emissions. It's just a cleaner, smarter, and way more elegant solution. So you see, this isn't just about the environment. It's what you'd call a classic market failure. The old solutions are just unsustainable, both economically and environmentally. They simply can't meet the massive global demand. And you know what? That gap, that failure, that's exactly where new business opportunities are born.
And that brings us to this huge turning point in technology. The solar solution isn't just some minor tweak, it's a fundamental shift. We're pairing desalination with the fact that solar power costs are plummeting. And because of that, we now have an alternative that's not only cleaner and more sustainable, but, and this is the critical part, it's actually more economical in the long run.
The advantage here is like this powerful flywheel spinning for both the economy and the environment. You're fighting climate change by cutting emissions, and at the same time, you're boosting your bottom line by slashing energy costs. This creates a business model that's built for long-term health, not just short-term survival. And all of this is happening while you're solving one of the most basic needs for humanity. It's a perfect alignment of purpose and profit.
Okay, so we've got this incredible technology, but how do you actually turn that into a real business? Because let's be real, having cool tech is one thing. Building a scalable, profitable company around it, that's the real challenge. This is that new frontier where innovators are creating some serious value.
Which leads us right to the big question, right? The one every business student wants to know. How are companies actually making money from this? What are the models for turning sunshine and seawater into actual revenue?
Well, it seems like two main models are really taking off. The first one is pretty straightforward. Direct water sales. You build a plant and you sell purified water to big clients like city governments or factories. The second way is all about partnerships, usually public-private partnerships where a company brings the tech and handles all the crucial maintenance for a project that a government owns. And you know what? Both are working really well.
And this chart gives us a great snapshot of just how many ways there are to make money here. It's not just about selling water. We're talking about big, long-term government contracts, sales to industrial customers, licensing your core technology to other players, and signing these lucrative ongoing maintenance deals. The market is incredibly deep, with lots of different angles.
Now this is where things get really interesting, especially if you're into business analytics. Because listen, having the tech and the right business model, that's not enough to win anymore. To really grow, to optimize, to beat the competition, it all comes down to the data. Analytics is the secret sauce.
And we're seeing this play out in the real world, all over the globe. On one hand, you've got these huge companies in places like Saudi Arabia and the UAE building these massive utility-scale plants. But then, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have nimble startups in India like Vayu, building smaller, decentralized plants for rural villages. The common thread? Both of them rely heavily on data to pull it off. So, whether you're a giant corporation or a tiny startup, the big question is the same. How do you keep everything running perfectly? How do you guarantee low costs and high reliability, whether you're serving a city of millions or a village of a few hundred?
And the answer, you guessed it, is the analytics advantage. Think about it. Instead of just waiting for things to break, you can use predictive analytics to know when a specific pump is about to fail. That lets you schedule maintenance before you have a costly shutdown. They're using real-time data to squeeze out the maximum amount of water with the absolute minimum energy. And they're analyzing geographic data to pinpoint the perfect locations for new plants, maximizing their ROI from day one.
And this quote just nails it. Data isn't just a bunch of numbers on a spreadsheet here. It's the engine that's making this whole thing work. It's the bridge that closes the gap between an expensive, complex technology and an affordable, life-saving resource for millions and millions of people.
Okay, so let's bring this all together. Solar-powered desalination, it's way more than just a cool piece of tech. It's a full-on business revolution. It represents this whole new way of thinking, where making a profit and making a positive impact on the world aren't fighting against each other. They're actually the very same thing. And at the end of the day, it really boils down to this simple, powerful idea. You need the engine of business to drive investment and scale things up. You need that spark of innovation to create better, smarter solutions. And you need the North Star of sustainability to make sure it all lasts. When you put those three together, well, the result is a better future.
What this whole story proves is that our biggest global challenges, they're also our biggest opportunities for innovation. So the final question I'll leave you with is this. If this framework can help solve water scarcity, what's the next huge global problem that visionary business leaders, people just like you, are going to solve?